welcome to our next part of our Bluegrass, or Battle for the Bluegrass campaign. This will be the fictional battle, of course. Don't be looking this up in the any historical journals or on any websites. This whole campaign is historical. But this will be the next battle in our continuing campaign, of course, and this will be the Battle of Stanford. Stanford is a small town southeast of Danville, which is was the old capital of Kentucky. Probably, I don't know the exact years. Just for fun, I looked that up. Danville was the capital of Kentucky from 1792 to 1796. Then people got stupid and made Frankfurt the capital. Oh well. So this town is southeast of the city of Danville. The last battle, which was at Junction City, is another town which is like directly south from Danville. And in that battle, if you didn't watch it, the Confederates finally lost a fight, a skirmish, against the forces of the Union that are in the area, and were pushed off. They kind of retreated off to the southeast, and then hooked around south of Stanford, and then have kind of set up shop in there to kind of lick their wounds, do some recruiting, get people fired up, and basically get ready for another skirmish with the Federals. Just so you can geographically kind of absorb where we are in the world, I'll show you a quick map with some background of what happened and everything in the last couple battles. All right, here's a map of the Bluegrass, where our campaign's taking place in central Kentucky. In the center of this map is Danville. Here on this map where it shows the battles, you can see the Confederacy is a red line coming up from the southeast, attacking at Junction City. X is their defeat. They retreated off to the southeast, and you can see in this zoomed in map, that green dot is where the city of Stanford is, and the Union has moved out of Danville to attack them. Now that we all know what has occurred, the Union they kind of regrouped after Junction. They pulled back to Danville, gathered up some troops to kind of refill their ranks. They don't want the Confederacy to get too comfortable over here in Stanford, so they have marched down the road from Danville and are going to launch an attack and try to push Colonel Hatfield farther south. So where Junction City is in relatively flat ground, Stanford, nah. Beautiful countryside, lots of hills. I've left some open space in the middle just for some combat, but you've got, I'll take a look from the other side, but you've got some very large hills. The city itself is kind of in a little valley between some giant knobs, which are I guess what we call hills around here. And look in the other direction, you can see the other hill there, which is close to where the Union will be coming in. This collection of buildings over here is going to stand for or basically stand in for the north end of the town of Stanford. All right, so main features of the battlefield. This road here, well, this is where the Union can come in. This is the road to Danville. So this direction here will be north. This is the main intersection leading to town. So there, I'm going to redo the. I'm going to continue the controlling points and getting force morale at the end of turns. I liked that last turn. I didn't get any big complaints, and I enjoyed it. So we're going to go for it again. The main intersection here. I did make 6 more snake rail fences, so we've got more snake rail fences. Can't have enough. Well, they're a bit of a pain to make, but you know, they're fun. So got some more of that. Got more fencing. Really kind of need it when you're playing this time period in America. This road here is going off towards Lexington, so that'll be a crucial point to take. Stop a You don't want them squirting around you and going up north of Lexington. That gets you closer towards Frankfort. And then this road down here south goes to Lancaster. So those are the main features. And of course, taking the town itself, there's right at this intersection right here, there's another control point. So just to make that clear, at the end of every turn, you control that. You're within 6 inches, and you're basically, there's no enemy forces within 12, or you're basically forming a strong defensive line, preventing them from getting near that crucial point. The side that controls the area will get a boost of force morale when the Tiffin comes out if they're in control of an area. Not going to make judgment calls on if it looks like it's it's contested or not. There is a small stream just north of town. It's nice having water on here in case we get anybody with the random spitting feathers or something like that. And then I think that's about it. We'll go over forces, we'll do force morale, and then we'll get this party started. Back for more. Level 4 leader, Colonel Clarence Williard Hatfield III, leading the Citadel graduating class of 1861. 3 groups of 8. These guys can do it all. They got Rebel Yell. They can present all the time. They're well drilled. They brought in a tour bus and brought some more boys up. They got really hammered last game. They made the big push and went head to head with Colonel William Alexander Pierce's main Union force, and they got their butts kicked. So they're looking to party back here and take control and get back to their winning ways. Major Keith Masters is the adjutant commander of the Confederate force. He also has 3 groups of 8 of Confederate infantry. They have Rebel Yell. They can present and fire just on their first one, and then they're done. They go uncontrolled after that. But they do have the color party, like Colonel Hatfield's force, and the musician. I'll keep on going here. I got a fallen soldier here. Give me a minute here. Someone's already trying to die before the game even starts. And these boys are the Tennessee regulars. Coming up from Louisiana, we got Captain Chris Cassagne, level 3 leader. Major Masters is also Major Kevin Masters is also a level 3 leader. He's got 3 groups of 8. They're identical to the force before them. They'll have Rebel Yell, first volley can be presented, and after that, they got to try to maintain control. Leader number 4, they were the linchpin that basically broke the Confederacy last game. This is First Lieutenant Keith Masters, brother of Kevin Masters, a level 2 leader. He's got two groups of Confederate Zouaves. They are considered light infantry. They have sharp practice. They can Rebel Yell. They're doing all the cool things, and they'll try not to get smoked this battle, hopefully. They took most of the Zouaves units get hammered. They're kind of get hammered all the time. Then we got 3 skirmish groups. We got Nicholas Turpin, Jeremy Franco, and Jordan Slee commanding, all second lieutenants commanding 3 groups of 6. Commanding the Death Star, who's just been nothing but a killing machine, is First Lieutenant Jonathan Matthew Johnson. He's got his boys. They are fired up. They got 2 9-pound Parrott guns. You've seen it in the last couple games. They've killed everything that moves. So they'll hopefully continue what they're doing. 2 medium artillery pieces. No sharp practice, thank you. That would be insane. And in the new unit, this is the full realized what I wanted to do before when I laid this project out on paper. Now I've all done. All of the forces are done. Only thing really pending is that the doctor's card. I want to get that vignette from Perry Miniatures, but I'll get that in a couple weeks. Get that all painted up. But this was the last piece in the puzzle. 8 Confederate cavalry. They can dismount, so they've got 6 skirmishers. If they can go into that form, and then when they do that, they'll have the horse holder unit with 2 guys holding their horses. And they have, is it Sam Colts or something like that? Their special rule, I think it is. And they also have Sharps carbines, so they're firing twice a turn with breech loading weapons, but at a shorter range. So I'm hoping I can ride around some flanks here, do some dismounting, blast away, and then get back on the horses and boogie. And then I'll have to get better at the whole cavalry maneuvering thing. But I'm glad I got these guys done. Cavalry is always kind of a daunting task if you haven't done it. It's like, paint twice the amount of guys, plus having to paint the dismounted form of them too. Kind of was an extra drag for a minute, but now that it's done, I'm totally psyched. They're led by a level 2 leader, Captain Bryce Portier from Mississippi. These boys are up from the swamp country. Feels like a swamp here today. I think the real feels 109. It's like 42.3 degrees Celsius. Oh, it's miserable. That's kind of like Georgia, South Carolina temperatures. In Kentucky, it's a bit rough. I'm not used to that. We're right in the middle of the country. We get like kind of milder weather, so we're kind of spoiled with that. We get seasonal changes, but we just don't get smoked like this. But who knows where the climate's going? We're probably going to catch on fire in a couple of years, so. But let's hope not. All right, guys, and let's look at the Union forces. I'm kind of laughing at myself. I set up the Union guys over here, but of course the Confederates are going to be spawning in over here. Well, I'm not moving that many guys. It's a skirmish game, but as you can see, it's kind of a larger skirmish game. That's the hallmark of this channel. It's getting a bit ridiculous. So, but without movement trays, it's a lot of movement. So I'm just like, I'll just walk the extra couple steps. I could use the exercise. Leading the Union forces, level 4 leader with Group 1, 3 groups of 8 Union infantry. They've got the stubborn rule. We don't have is it Surlish or something? I don't know what the heck it is. But we're not doing that rule. We're doing stubborn. And I've never had to use that yet, so I need to get my act together and get it inactive. Level 1 leader, leader number 1, level 4 is Colonel William Alexander Pierce. He redeemed himself last game. He actually played a part. He didn't sit back and hide the entire time and leave everything to his subordinate, Major Kirk. He got out there, he fought, he basically controlled the center of the battlefield. He destroyed the Confederate forces he was up against, and basically did what he was supposed to do. And so he's looking to keep that up now that he actually, we'll say maybe he was a school teacher or something like that, and now he's actually figured out how to command guys on the battlefield. He's got the color party, and he's ready to rock. Speaking of which, at Houstonville, at Junction City, and all the battles before it, Major Kirk, he carried the Union even though they lost, but he was firing, he was taking casualties. Everyone else was kind of watching him do everything, so he was very relieved to be assigned to the right flank last battle. He was successful at Junction City and kind of was in process of pushing Captain Cassagne's Louisiana boys off the battlefield, but he did well. He's a level 3 leader. He's a color party. He's got 3 groups of 8 Union infantry, and they do have stubborn as well. So he's ready to do battle. And here's the man who was super thrilled last battle. He got fresh off his promotion from last game. Captain Allen, level 3 leader. He's got, once again, 3 groups of 8 Union infantry with stubborn. Every battle before this, he got decimated. He basically would walk to the top of a hill, he would present, and then the entire team would just unload on him. There would be cannonballs coming in, Gatling guns. I mean, I swear there was off-board artillery. He'd get to the top of the hill with a full formation, and like he would never go again and just get shot to pieces. He actually won the battle last time at Junction City. He drove off the Confederate Zouaves over on the Union left, finally breaking the morale of the Confederacy. So amazing job, and he was just happy to not just actually they got to fire their muskets for once. I was starting to wonder if they even issued them ammunition, but they did great. And my buddy Greg will be super excited. He was starting to get mad at me. I don't think he was going to talk to me anymore if his namesake continued to suck as bad as he was. Leader number 4 for the Union is First Lieutenant Anthony Morgan. The last 2 battles, actually 3 battles, he's had a rough go of it. They've been in the thick of it every time. They've gotten hammered. Prior to, I can't remember what the battle was before Houstonville, but he got destroyed there. He walked out on the ridge line, and basically Confederate artillery destroyed 80% of his force. And at Houstonville, he got smoked. And then at the last battle at Junction City, he got smoked again, and they ended up having to retreat inside of a church and basically lock the door and hide to avoid the Confederates wiping them off the face of the world. But they're back. They're Union Zouaves. They're light infantry. They've got sharp practice. They've got all the bells and whistles they can present all day long, just like the rest of the Union, and they've got stubborn as well. So hopefully they continue to battle. I'm hoping they can actually come out of this battle with a few more guys intact instead of having to just get shot to pieces. Then you got 3 groups of Union skirmishers. They all have sharp practice, just like the Confederates. Level 1 leaders, 2nd lieutenants in charge of each. We've got Ethan Jones, Doug Carmichael, who was super thrilled. He was able to hold off an entire 3 groups of 8 Confederate push in the center with his 6 guys. Even though he got cut down to 3 guys, that was awesome for him. Instead of usually he goes out there and just unloads into the trees, into the ground, and they just get wiped out. And then Second Lieutenant Daniel Potter's the last one. So Second Lieutenant Carmichael looking to continue his winning ways. Union Group number 8 is a level 2 leader. That is First Lieutenant Joseph Markey, my favorite brother-in-law. He's got 2 Union 9-pound medium Parrott guns. Lost the duel last game. Basically, Jonathan Matthew Johnson incinerated his entire command. Looking for some redemption. They've been playing some video games, working on their hand-eye coordination, their aiming, so he's hoping he can continue to support the Union and bring them another victory and not get wiped out again. And the newest part of the Union is, I think he's the captain? Captain Cameron Whale, my buddy. Hell of a great guy. From Illinois. He's got Illinois' finest on horseback. He's a level 2 leader. He's got 8 Union cavalry. I can't remember all their rules. I'll have to look them up real quick in the book to remember what the heck they got. I don't think they have that Sam Coates thing. That's just a Confederate thing. I'm not even sure if they have any rules. He's got they're also dragoons. They've got their 6 guys there. They have Sharps carbines, breech loaded, and they got their horse holders here. And they're looking to do some damage here. First time in the battlefield, it's never a good thing for any miniature war game channel. Usually if you have a fresh unit, you know what's going to happen to them. But Cameron ready to do this thing. Hopefully get some, not get some blood in his beard there. He's ready to command. Just for some extra flavor, the Confederates will have a local holy man from First Baptist Church of Stanford. You come on out of there. And if they need some force morale fixing, Brother Maynard's back with some bourbon. He'll be curing some people of some woes. And the Union, just to show that they've got better support and more industry, they have a wagon that can come out and if they have any problems with ammunition or like that, they can bring that on the battlefield and hook them up. So the water's miles away, but it's on the battlefield at least. I wasn't originally going to have water, but thought I'd have it. The fences will be light cover, trees will be light cover. If you're behind the trees, you can't be seen. If you're in the trees, you get the cover. Buildings they're hard cover. Get some stone walls over there to be hard cover, and then Attacking up hills will be a minus, of course, for following the rules, but I think that's about it. We'll do force morale, and then I've got all the cards in the deck this time, so every card that comes in the infamy deck besides the all the flags are in there, and then we've got all 9 commanders, so this is the full dealio. So super excited. Sit back, enjoy it. Hope this is great, and we'll see you on the other side. Yeah, per the rules, Union Cavalry has no extra characteristics, and the Confederate Cavalry has Sam Colt's Equalizer and Tally Ho. So we'll stick with the rules there. It's kind of sad for the Union. Sorry about that, Cameron. You gotta do better, baby. Time to check force morale. Both sides will get a +1 to this roll. It's because they're regular infantry. Union kind of not very excited to push the attack. Well, it's just 12 miles away from Danville, but the Union guys must have had some good quarters. They must have been bivouacked up right. They are not thrilled with Colonel Pierce for pulling them out of their cushy quarters in July and pushing them down 12 miles to the southeast to attack the Confederates in Stanford. So we've got a 9 for the Union to start off, and the Confederacy fired up with an 11. A quick geographical correction that a lot of people, it won't make a big difference to, but I was kind of laughing at myself when I went back and watched it. That direction's north. This road actually goes to Lancaster, which goes on to Lexington, and this road south goes to Waynesburg. So just in case there's a victory and I decide to take the Confederates that direction, it'll actually be correct since Lancaster is north of Stanford. There's the order of battle. Same as last time. I'm actually just using Captain Whale and Captain Portier. Alright, it's go time. Starting off with Blue Leader 5. With nobody in line of sight, Second Lieutenant Daniel Potter leads his Union skirmish unit onto the battlefield. Way the heck down there. Blue 7. I was thinking in my head that both artillery batteries need to get on top of these hills early to start raining down death. So that's pretty awesome. Their card came up that quick. First Lieutenant Joseph Markey leads his 2 Union artillery batteries out onto the battlefield, heading towards the ridgeline. He got to deploy 6 inches from the edge due to no line of sight, and artillery always deploys in contact with deployment zone. Oh, and just like that, here comes Captain of the Death Star, Jonathan Matthew Johnson, First Lieutenant, Confederate Artillery. First Lieutenant Jonathan Matthew Johnson was the first one to open his email box and see that the Union was on their way to Stanford. Starts getting his cannons, gets his boys off the party they were at. They get out there, they start pushing their cannons towards the hill. First flag of the game. All right. Red flag. Blue flag. Now we're on a roll. Oh, we're going to random event for, well, I would consider deployment not a random. I did that last game, and I don't think it was right, so I'm going to go ahead and ditch that. So no random event. And please feel to correct me if you're watching this. 3 red flags. Oh, yes! I get to get my new unit gets to get killed already. I'm excited. Oh, I'm totally fired up about this. Captain Bryce Portier, level 2 leader, leads the Mississippi Swamp People, Mississippi Cavalry, out of Stanford onto the battlefield. They deployed 12 inches. They couldn't get the extra 6 because Union skirmishers are looking at them going, oh, we gotta find some cover. But here they come. Cavalry on the battlefield. I'm going to try to use markers to remember who's at the walk, who's at the canter, and who's at the gallop. So They come in at the walk, I believe. First screw up out of the gate. They are assumed to be deployed in canter unless stated otherwise. So they are at the canter. Oh yes, 4 red flags. Getting their guns deployed is #1 priority for the Confederate defense. They will use both move actions to move these limbered foot artillery towards the hill. They advance 10 inches. They're motivated. They'll lose a pip going up, you know, on each dice going up that hill, though. It's going to slow them down some. 2nd Union blue flag. 3rd Balloon Union flag. Oh, we'll get a random movement event for Jonathan Matthew Johnson. That's never, well, it could be good. You never know. Where's the map? Thankfully, Matthew Johnson doesn't need a map. He's from around this town, so he knows what's up. Not in columns, so it doesn't affect him. Union's gonna counter Confederate artillery and use their 4 to move First Lieutenant Joseph Markey again. Union artillery moving towards the base of the hill. I want to get up there and get shooting. Oh, getting some big boys. I think that's my boy, Captain Allen. Captain Allen leads his 3 groups of 8 Union infantry onto the battlefield, deploying 6 inches from the deployment zone. In line. Oh, counter it. The boys from Louisiana come onto the battlefield under Captain Cassagne. The boys from Louisiana deploy next to the cavalry in line. There you go. Cassagne has arrived. Red Leader 5. 2nd Lieutenant Jordan Sallee leads his 6 skirmishers into the trees, just to the side of Cassagne's command. Another blue flag. Another red flag. Red 8. And I totally screwed up earlier. I thought 7 was the artillery. Not used to the 9 units, I guess. So we're going to, just for this turn, to make both of these the 7. So that will be a skirmish group under Jeremy Franco, 2nd Lieutenant. 2nd Lieutenant Jeremy Franco leads his 6 skirmish troops onto the battlefield back here in the back. And thankfully I've screwed up that artillery thing for both units so it won't have an impact, since both sides got to benefit from my screw up. Oh, we're getting some big boys now. Major Jameson Kirk. Major Kirk leads his men in march column on the Danville Road. They are way in the back here. He's holding himself in reserve. He knows Colonel William Alexander Pierce's tricks, so he's not going to go for broke right away. There you go. Like on cue, they counter him. With tons of fanfare, the Tennessee regulars come marching out of Stanford, heading on to Danville Road to go out and meet the enemy. And that's Major Kevin Masters leading 3 groups of 8 Confederate infantry. 2nd red flag. 3rd red flag. I get a bonus move for those guys. Blue flag. Now who the heck moved last? We have to go all the way back to 1st Lieutenant Joseph Markey and the Union Artillery. Union Artillery spitting feathers. They might need to bring the utility wagon in early so they can quench their thirst. They'll never reach the water. It's about a mile down the road through enemy territory. Tempest Fugit. All right. With that being the Tiffin, and it's the first turn, everyone does. All those flags go to waste. Everyone's already moved. So we've got Major Masters leading in a large group of Confederate infantry out of town. Confederate artillery and some skirmishers moving towards this ridge over here. And then we've got Kentucky the cavalry. I don't know where these guys are from. Oh, I said Mississippi. That's right. And you got some more Confederate infantry outside of town. And I can't forget there's a skirmish unit in the woods over there. So the Confederates are deploying. They're sallying forth to meet the Union. Union way down here. It's got a skirmish group out front. Captain Allen's leading the vanguard. Major Kirk bringing his boys in march column down the road, kind of looking around, waiting for the colonel to get here. And we've got some dust and feather problems in the respiratory tract of the Union artillery, so they'll be looking to quench their thirst. Nobody's controlling the deployment points, so we've got the Confederacy force morale at 11 and the Union's force morale at a 9. Alright, next card. Blue flag. 2 blue flags. Oh! Okay. This little free action for the Union, little free turn. They'll move their their artillery up to as far as they can go. They'll lose 1 pip per die. First Lieutenant Markey got his boys right at the base of the hill. Next turn they'll lose 2 pips per die, unless they get some Gatorade. And then for the other flag the Union has, they will do 2 movement actions for Captain Greg Allen. And they advanced 5 inches closer to Stanford. Go get them, boys. And that's the end of the turn. Still got an 11 and 9 force morale. All right. Confederate cavalry. I could do a double take now. They got 9 units per side. I'm like, what? All right, the canter's gonna use both movements. That's Captain Bryce Portier. They can advance, I think, at a 45-degree angle at the canter. So 2 dice plus 3 each. They start galloping across the cantering across the battlefield. There we go. Blue flag. Red flag. Oh, it's not going to sit this one out. I like it. Colonel William Alexander Pierce brings on his troops in front of Major James Kirk, just like Major Kirk planned, and trailing behind Captain Allen's troops. All right. Is that Captain Allen again? Captain Allen will advance his men in line with both actions. Those Union troops advance 7 inches, actually getting into gun range now with the 48-inch range. These mini balls can go. Oh. Colonel Hatfield, he's not going to let this battle go by without getting of action. The tour bus arrived in Stanford this morning from Charleston, South Carolina with some more Citadel grads. They've reinforced their ranks after getting wiped out at Junction City. Colonel Hatfield comes in behind the boys from Louisiana, and he's ready for a rematch against Colonel Pierce. Second red flag. Second blue flag. Alright, that's the skirmish unit that I screwed up earlier, so that's Jeremy Franco's boys. They're right on the battlefield. They're going to boogie. Try to head up here and set up for the artillery. They lose their lowest dice to cross over that wall there as they use both actions to run plus their bonus action. So they're out here heading towards the hill. Oh, there he is. Major Jameson Kirk. He's in column on the road. He'll get 3d6. They're going to stop at least. They're not going to run into their own unit here, but let's see how far they go. Ends up working out fine. They go 9 inches. They're still got some separation between them and Colonel Pierce's unit. 3 blue flags against 2 red flags. Ooh, there's the 4th. They're going to use them on First Lieutenant Joe Markey and his artillery. Even losing 2 pips per die, that's enough for them to get up on top of the flat part of the hill. They're going to move towards unlimbering and getting ready to start unloading on the town. Another blue flag. Red 2. Major Kevin Masters will use both dice for moving and get an extra bonus dice for being column on the road. 3d6 of movement straight ahead. Tennessee regulars aren't the biggest deal as they move or biggest hurry, excuse me, as they advance 7 inches. They do capture that the town bonus point, but since the Confederacy is in 11 force morale, they can't go any higher. But if they sit there for a second and the artillery starts wiping out people, they will recover at least 1 point. Blue 4 for the Union. First Lieutenant Anthony Morgan leads his Union Zouaves on the battlefield. They're really embracing the whole French thing. Zouaves come in colonne d'attaque. And, yep, there they are. Not in a big hurry to get smoked again. They're a little bit gun shy. 3rd red flag. Blue leader 5. That's Daniel Potter's skirmishers. They're going to hustle forward with both move actions. They advance forward 13 inches to the right of Captain Allen's troops. Blue leader 7. Second Lieutenant Ethan Jones brings on his skirmishers, trailing behind Captain Allen, but kind of in front of Colonel Pierce, 9 inches from the deployment point. There's the Fuge. All right, first up, the Confederacy has 3 flags versus the Union 1. So first up, they're going to move First Lieutenant Jonathan Matthew Johnson's artillery battery. They get a good 11-inch move. They start climbing the hill. They'll start paying the penalty next time they move. They received a dispatch from Colonel Hatfield telling them to hurry the heck up because the Union artillery was already sighting in. As I look at it, the Union's already moved everything, either deployed or moved this turn, so they can't even use their flag. Confederacy will use their second flag to move Cassagne's troops 2d6 forward down the road. Captain Cassagne moves forward to prepare to engage Captain Allen. Oh yeah, that's going to be a battle. Last flag for the Confederacy. They'll move this skirmish group forward farther into the trees. They'll move 3d6 and lose 1 pip per die going into those woods. Second Lieutenant Jordan Salee leads his men farther into the woods, getting close to be able to shoot out. At the end of the turn, we still have the same force morale, 11 versus a 9. Confederates on top. Technically, the Confederates have one to spare by capturing that waypoint in Stanford. But you've got the Union is forming up nicely for attack. Their first two lead columns are, or lead two units are in line, marching out towards the field. Artillery's in place. They're getting ready to unlimber. We've got Union reinforcements coming up in the form of Zouaves and another full 24-man unit. Two skirmish groups deployed on the flanks, while the Confederates counter with a skirmish group in the woods by the crossroads. Frontline group marching out, supported by another one. Their cavalry is flanking to the right. Got a third reinforced unit coming up the road as their artillery and some skirmishers try to get up there and get deployed. Alright, start off with a red flag. 2 red flags. I can't remember who moved last. I have no earthly idea. I might have to skip it. Yeah. Hang on. Whoever it was is going to get a free pass. I had a little break between turns here. I'm like, you get a freebie. You get lucky. Could have been something good. Could have been something bad. Red 8. Confederate artillery pushing their way up the hill. 2 dice, taking a pip off each dice. On the struggle bus, only going 4 inches. All right, red 3. Captain Cassagne is in range of Greg Allen by 1 inch, but he's going to push the envelope here and advance. Both dice head towards that fence. Not the best move as he only advances 5 inches, but at least he didn't run and get a shock on top of that, because you know I would have rolled a 1 on the 3rd dice. Uh-oh. Red 9. They're going to continue with the canter. Try to get the heck out of the way before the cannons open up. They canter forward 12 inches. Not quite in cover yet, but they are scooching off. Head to those trees, where they'll probably dismount. Oh, there he is. Colonel Pierce will advance. He'll probably run. Being a level 4 leader, he can pull shock off all 3 groups, so he's going to run and see how far he can get. The Colonel's 3 groups of 8 get a monster 15-inch move, and they're right behind Captain Allen's troops. Oh, all right. Captain Whale Cameron going to bring his Illinois cavalry onto the battlefield for the first time. Captain's trying to look as military or militaristic as possible. He's got his boys riding out in column, looking pretty. Heading over the hill, and they'll over hill, over dale as they hit that rusty trail. They're going to be trying to flank the heck out of the Confederates. 3rd red flag. Red leader 3. Oh, yes, Captain Greg Allen. My boy Greg is not a patient man. He is going to, no matter what range it is, I'm sure it'll be long range, he is going to present first fire and be unloaded, firing on Cassagne. And the Civil War has come to Stanford, Kentucky, as the Union cracks off the first rounds of this battle. Here we go. 27 shots, hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s against the Cassagne's boys from Louisiana. They're going to get light cover because they're closer to the snake rail fence than the Union is. "15 hits into Cassagne's boys in light cover. Six kills, 2 shock on a roll of 1. Cassagne's hit. You can hear the groan from here as Cassanier's guys get hammered. 6 of their number cut down. 2 shock in the center group. 4th red flag. Gotta get the Confederate artillery ready to deploy. They're gonna go for it again. That was enough to get them in position. They're unlimbering, getting ready to start blasting away. Red leader 7. Franco's going to move his skirmishers forward. They're moving up along the hillside to get into action as quick as possible. 2nd blue flag. 3rd blue flag. And that is a blue 8. First Lieutenant Markey with his artillery online. He will present fire, being double unloaded, going after Cassanier, who would get light cover, but artillery cannonballs are going to go right through that snake rail fence like, you know what, hot knife through butter. First fire presented at effective range. 26 shots hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s in the open. Cassanier's commands hit with 19 hits in the open. 6 on all the groups, but an extra hit in the center. They're rocked with 3 kills and 11 more shock. Holy cow. Cassanier's command is sliced to pieces. 2 shock on the outside group, 6 in the center, 5 on the right. They've lost 9 guys so far, so over 33% losses. Might be time to break out Brother Maynard already. Try to soak up some shock. Blue 6. Union's trying to win it on this turn. Saving the best for last, Douglas Carmichael leads his 6-man skirmish unit onto the battlefield. Yeah, the Confederates still have their Zouaves and 1 skirmish group off table, but the Union is entirely deployed. Union attacking in depth here. Woo! Yeah, baby. Red flag. More Union. Blue leader 4. First Lieutenant Anthony Morgan. He's going to run his guys up the hill, and we'll pull one of the shocks. So one group will have 1 shock. Keeping up the French motif, the Zouaves in pas de charge, running up the hill like they're trying to get away from the cops or something. They're running. Trick or treat, baby. They got 1 shock. I gotta get that out. 4th blue flag. They're gonna reload. First Lieutenant Markey gonna reload his artillery. All right. Colonel Hatfield, gotta try to stabilize the battlefield. He'll run forwards and pull all the shocks. They advanced 10 inches behind Cassanier's troop, probably stepping over some bodies that are getting blown to pieces. Now I think about it, it might have been the best idea. If these guys break, I don't want them to come right back through Hatfield's guy and give him a bunch of extra shock. I have to veer off a little bit there. Sorry about that. Oh, and one other thing, sorry. On Colonel Hatfield's number 1 card coming up, Brother Maynard comes in, giving a rousing speech to these guys, trying to pull a bunch of shock. Brother Maynard pulls 5 shock from that beleaguered Confederate unit. Then he also stays on and joins Captain Cassanier as a spiritual advisor. He might need it in a second. I think he's going to be seeing the maker. 2nd red flag. 1st blue flag for after they've spent everything. Oh, and that will be a random event. Moving random event for Colonel Hatfield. Colonel's horse steps in a mole hole. He's got my bally leg. Oh gosh. -1 pip per die for the rest of the game, sorry. The Confederates do not have a physic. They went with their preservation of their immortal souls over their physical well-being. There's the Tempest Fugit. Oh! Tied up with cards, the force morale advantage goes to the Confederacy. Now there's a question. The artillery went as a bonus move, but their card did not come out. So are they still allowed to activate on a card? Maybe. I'll think about that. Probably not going to be the most effective fire, but Cassagna and Brother Maynard will command the troops to fire a volley back at Greg Allen. Present and fire and be unloaded. With all the casualties and the shock, they get 15 shots. Long range. First fire presented. Hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s in the open. Seven hits in the open. Oh, they will get those skirmish group too, so I got to add those guys in, and they'll get light cover. Captain Allen and his accompanying skirmish group take, I think, 4 shock and lose 1 man. This skirmish group will move forward and fire at Cassagna's boys in light cover. Daniel Potter's skirmishers scurry forward, get into effective range, firing 6 shots at Cassagna's boys, who will get some cover. 7 shots, hitting on 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. They will be unloaded. Six more hits into Cassagna's group, 2 on each group. No more shock, but they do kill 2 guys on the outside of outside formations each. So they're down to single line except for 1 guy in the second rank. Next flag's the last flag for the Confederacy. They're going to run these guys down the road. 46, pick up 1 shock. Major Kevin Masters runs his guys down the road 15 inches. I'll put a shock on this front group. Last Union flag, they will move forward. What's it call it? Sorry, Major Jameson Kirk. He'll just run. He'll just move 2 and get the bonus move for being in column. Major Kirk advances his formation 13 inches down the road. They're doing just fine. So far, Union attack going well. That'll end that turn. Captain Cassagna just doesn't know what to do with his command. It's just getting whittled away as he gets hammered. And he's probably not resting easily knowing the artillery is reloaded. All right. Red flag. 2 red flags. Who went last? I don't know. I guess it was Major Kirk. Oh, there we go. Colonel Hatfield taking command. All right, he's going to move forward. He's going to use those 2 flags to step out. Then he's going to get up there and use an extra command to snap in those formations into his own. And probably redress the line. Even with his volley leg, Colonel Hatfield is able to form a 5-group formation. Kept some of the shock on the outside right. And now he's got an adjutant and a priest. He's ready to do some battle here. But that's his movement right now. Oh, the wrong side. Red leader 5. Jordan Slee's going to advance through the trees and fire on that skirmish group. From 16 inches away, out of the trees, across the woods, to grandmother's house we go. 7 shots. Effective range. First fire. 3, 4, 5s, and 6s in light cover. They will be unloaded after this. And yeah, 5 hits. 2 kills, 2 shock. On a 1 or 2, Jordan Salee takes a round. They lose 2 guys. They go up to 3 shock. They're still unloaded out there. Hurry up, man. They're got to make something happen. First red flag. Little blue flag action. It's been all red so far. Oh, that's the Zouaves. Keith Masters has not been on the battlefield yet. Confederate Zouaves from Florida come on here 9 inches from the deployment area, looking to work their way through those trees and start putting some fire into the Union attackers. Second red flag. Red 8. Is that the artillery? I think it is. So at a range of 119 inches, First Lieutenant Jonathan Matthew Johnson is going to use some Kentucky windage here, and that's 9 feet, like 11 inches or some crap, and try to do counter battery against the Union artillery of First Lieutenant Markey. There is no long range on this stuff. I mean, there is no, that's it. So I don't think sharp practice was built for a 14-foot across map, but we're going to go for it. They're firing. First fire presented, hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. Lots of dice. They'll be double unloaded. 26 shots flying across the battlefield. 14 hits slam into Markey's command. 7 on each gun. Three dead, 7 shock, split between those groups. Thankfully, First Lieutenant Markey's with this gun. 5 shock, 1 more shock and they'll fall back. These guys have 2 shock with 3 guys. They can still operate at full efficiency though, until they go under 3. So far my shuffling is absolute crap. There we go. Blue 6. Doug's going to run his way out between those units there and try to scooch out until they become combat effective. Not the most massive move in the world, but at least gets Doug out there, out of the log jam. Blue leader 4, it's going to be all blue now. First Lieutenant Morgan's going to run his boys across here, pick up another shock. Zouaves come bursting out of the trees. Each group's got 1 shock. They start their descent. 3 red flags. Oh, you know who's going to get that. Colonel Sanders. All 5 groups in Colonel Hatfield's formation. Present and fire at Captain Allen. Oh my gosh. Colonel Hatfield also pulls 3 shock before he orders that unload. So even more firepower. I gotta count this up. I'm gonna take my shoes off for this one. Gotta count those toes too. 41 shots at, I think it's long range? Yeah, long range. Hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. Little less than the odds. 19 hits into the... oh, yeah. Because those guys moved away. Oh, they're all by themselves now. Three dead, 8 shock. Could have been a lot worse. I think Captain Allen can deal with that. Group on the left has lost 3 guys with 2 shock. Group in the center has lost 1 guy with 5 shock. Group on the right is intact with 5 shock. Blue 5, yes baby. They're going to try to move to the right to these trees. They're going to reload, and he's going to use a flag to pull a shock. Scrap that. They're going to reload and fire. Use their free move to move 1d6 to the right. Use the flag to pull a shot. They shimmy over to the right a little bit. Not quite in the trees yet. 3 inches. They lost 2 inches with the shock they had. They'll get 5 shots into hard cover. Hitting on what are they hitting on? 4, 5s, and 6s. Score 2 hits on the skirmishers in the trees, behind the fence. Hard cover for the win. I guess that no cover would have won that one too. Double 1s. Nice shooting, baby. Oh, they spent 1 blue flag. I forgot. And a red flag. Oh, yes. Blue leader 2. Not a whole lot of moving space for Major Kirk. They will shake out into line, both formations. All 3 groups have moved into line now, and his whole formation is ready to go. They need to get moving forward so they can spread out a little bit. Second red flag. Oh, that's Captain Portier with the Confederate cavalry for Mississippi. The swamp people. We're going to drop to the walk. Move forward. 1 move and then dismount. Alright, the dragoons have dismounted. Got 2 of their guys with the horses. The rest of them moving into the trees. Oh, cool. Got their breech loading carbines out. So it worked out pretty well. They were able to ride to the far side of the battlefield and dismount. Instant force on the right. Got your big group in the center. Got some skirmishers on the left. Got your Zouaves moving up. Need these guys to get a card come up so they can continue to move forward. Oh, speak of the devil. There you go. I have the force, man. I magically willed that to happen. Major Masters is going to do all the things. He's going to 2 moves to move forward, extra 1d6 for being on the road and column, and then step out for another 1d6. And he had a free command left over to pull the 1 shock they had. They're nice. It's looking good. Love miniature war game. It's so awesome. All right, here we go, baby. Tempest Fugit. They're going to use their one flag to reload and present Captain Allen. Get him ready for next turn. He definitely has some shock to pull, but he's presented and ready to go. He came out of that huge barrage out of Colonel Hatfield's mega force here without he's not too bad. I thought he'd be a lot worse. His command was a lot better in Kasanya. He needs to move forward though to free up room for the 2 boys behind him to come into play. But it's looking good. I need to get Union cavalry moving. They just kind of came in and went across the board. I think the Zouaves have been outrunning the horses, so I got to do better at that. The ultra formation is good until the artillery hits them. We've got the dismounted dragoons in the trees. More skirmishers over there in the trees. It's a good little fight going on right here. No end in sight yet. Confederate Zouaves from Florida moving up, and then we've got the guns blasting away. And another force of Confederates coming up. It's going to be brutal here at the intersection. Union just needs to get into this, out of this choke point there. I need to get up and move in. I got to, no matter what, move forward. That present might have not been the best idea because it might stick him there. Kind of bottlenecked. Oh well, we'll figure it out, and we'll keep exposing we'll expand the flank with cavalry and hopefully with Zouaves. Still, one Confederate skirmish group has not come on the battlefield yet. Starting off with a blue flag action. Blue 8. First Lieutenant Markey uses one command to pull a shock, uses the flag to pull another shock, getting them down to 3 on that second gun. It's got 2 shock on the left gun, 3 on the right. They are going to present and fire at Colonel Hatfield's command, all 5 groups at effective range. 24 shots hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s, baby. They'll be double unloaded. "17 hits in the open. Brother Maynard trying to bring down the good luck. Here come the balls, and they're going to go right through these guys. On a 1, the colonel is struck by some shrapnel. Will cause 5 dead and 7 shock spread across the group. We've got some casualties gone. 1 shock, 2 shock there, 2 shock there, 4 shock there, 1 shock there. They've had worse. You know, for 2 cannons hitting you, not too bad. Oh, it's all blue. You're my boy, Blue. 2 flags in a row. 3 flags in a row. Random firing event for First Lieutenant Joe Markey's artillery section. Damn squid. Half firepower until they can get fresh powder. They do have the wagon. They're going to have to bring it in on when the colonel's card comes out. They got double bad things. They're spitting feathers and they've got damn squids. They'll probably fix both of those when the wagon comes in. More blue, blue 5. That's Potter's boys over here. They will use those 2 flags to pull both those shock. They'll use their free move to go to the right, and they'll reload and fire. There's only 1 flag left, so they'll be at 1 shock after this. They're only able to move 1 inch over with their shock they already have, so they're still not quite in cover, but they will have 5 shots here. Hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s into hard cover. Three hits into hard cover. They put 1 shock on the Jordan Solis boys over there in the woods. Nice. 3rd red flag. Ooh, nice. Cavalry. Portier's Mississippi boys will cross over that fence, try to move into these woods. If 1 die, they'll drop the lowest. Dragoons get an awesome move. They're up into the trees. Maybe they'll pop off some shots next turn. These boys are hanging out back here at the campfire, kind of hoping somebody comes back and it's not Union that comes bursting into those trees. Blue 6. Second Lieutenant Doug Carmichael gonna try to haul booty, run as fast as he can. Holy crap, did you see that? Carmichael totally amped up, gonna cover 18 inches here. Wow. I'm not sure if Carmichael's command is going for the Medal of Honor or trying to get a psych discharge, but they are They took off like they were shot out of a cannon. Another blue flag. Uh-oh. There he is. The Colonel Hatfield. He's going to probably pull it. Well, he's going to do a crashing volley. See what shock he can pull here. Probably do a crashing volley and pull an extra shock. So he'll pull a total of 4 shock. And they will reload and fire a crashing volley. 35 shots going straight ahead into Allen's command. Right at 36 inches, hitting on 5s and 6s. It's not easy getting those 5s and 6s. I think they only have 8 hits split over 3 groups, but doubling shock. They will add 8 shock into that formation. We'll have to see what that does. They've got 4 shock, they've got 9 shock, and they've got 7 shock. They're fine. This group in the center will fall back 2 inches, which will snap the formation. So we'll get a bad thing for formation broken by fire. And a bad thing for group obliged to withdraw. So a double whammy. So that'll drop their force morale by 3 down to a 6, I think, right? Yep. Union's got to start thinking about capturing some points. That's the Confederate artillery under Matthew Johnson. Lieutenant Jonathan Matthew Johnson will use both actions to reload. Red flag. Red 2. Interesting. They're going to move forward 2d6. One will be the road bonus. And then they're going to change formation to line. Kind of jam in and gets the over the fence here, and partially in the woods. It's kind of a disaster, but they're formed out into line. Try to clean that up maybe next time. Blue leader 4. That's the Union Zouaves. In the middle of their circuitous flanking maneuver. Let's see how far they can go. They're working their way down that hill. All right. See if they can have an impact over here on the flank. Another blue flag. They got 2 now. I don't even know if this is like a log jam. He does nothing. He can't move. They're not going to spend any of their blue flags. They're going to have to use them at the end if they still have units left over. What a nightmare. Red 7. Jeremy Franco's skirmishers, they're going to move forward. They move forward 7 inches. Still got a long way to go to get to the front line. Oh, that's the Confederate Zouaves. Keith's going to order his boys forward through here. Try to get on that left side there. Maximum movement. They lose a pip per die. They move 11 inches through the trees. They pick up a shock on this left group, but they are closing in on their ideal position there against the fence. All right. Colonel Pierce, he's got to make things happen. He's going to use all these, and he's going to basically take over Captain Allen's command too, and suck him into his formation with his 4 commands. First things first, they're going to move forward 2. Alright, busy turn. He snaps in that entire formation into his formation. He's able to pull some shock. Got 6 over here now, and 4 over here. He burned 3 flags, plus a couple that were left over. And also the the war wagon came in bringing all the supplies, and they were able to cure their spitting feathers and damp squid on the Union artillery. And then you'll Tempest Fugit Signet card, whatever it's called, card, and then the Confederates will spend their one card on their skirmishers over in the woods. These guys will fire and reload. They got one shock. Hey, you know what? We're just going to pull a shock and fire and be unloaded. 7 shots into these guys before they go into cover. And if you can believe it, the Red 6 still hasn't come out yet. On the sideline. We're mucho turns in. These guys haven't got in the game yet. 7 shots hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. Three hits in light cover. They'll bump them up to 2 shock. The turn will end with the Union's attack stagnating slightly. Probably good things to come now that Captain William Alexander Pierce has taken over and formed a giant 6-man or 6-group formation right across the center of the battlefield. They're just going to have to start advancing forward here without hopefully pulling some shock while they go. Union artillery back on track now. Now that they've got their ammunition replaced and they've got a drink of water. Major Kirk, happy to stay in reserves. Got to get some more Union skirmishers out. They really need to start capturing some key points here. But the Confederacy is lining the woods, lining the fence line, in cover. It even got their dragoons in the woods, putting a very good defense on. And then all under the watchful gaze of the Death Star, First Lieutenant Jonathan Matthew Johnson back there. Franco trying to catch up on the battlefield. It's still Turpin who's the one who's off the battlefield. And this is Slee over here that just ended up shooting those last rounds. And we've got a 6 force morale for the Union, and the Confederacy is still at an 11, flying high. So I think the confusion here on their first attack has made these guys have some second thoughts. But William Alexander Pierce taking command personally. He's going to try to lead them in. All right. Oh, is that him finally? Oh, Franco! Franco's 6-man unit of Confederate skirmishers, they were at a party. Couldn't find their way to the front lines. They have taken up basically a rear support option. And basically they're holding this farm, but they're holding the intersection more importantly. So they're basically serving as an insurance policy for the front line guys. They'll automatically gain 1 force morale back each turn. And now after 9,000 turns, all the units are on the table. All right. That's Major Kevin Masters and his Tennessee regulars. They're going to move up to the wall and present. Oh, wow. Confederates are all dug in on that fence line now. Woo! Yeah. They're Tennessee boys. The skirmishers, then behind them, here comes the Zouaves from Florida. All right, blue flag. Blue 7. Second Lieutenant Ethan Jones is going to move his skirmishers forward, try to get in the fight. They're moving up behind the Colonel's Ultra formation. I still got to catch up with Doug. I guess those guys are ahead of Doug's guys, but they're not charging into 80 guns like Doug's guys are. Second blue flag. Oh,
I get to do something cool with the cavalry that's dismounted.
So here comes the channel first. Breech loading weapons. They're going to fire basically and fire again. So it'll be would be 7 shots, but now it's 14 shots. I'll do them both at once. And here you go. And they're always considered loaded, so it's bring it on. 14 shots at effective range, or 13 inches, which is medium range for these, or effective range for these guys. But they'll get the +1 from being skirmishers, and it's first fire. So, holy cow, what's that? 14 shots hitting on 2, 3, 4, 5s, and 6s? Yes. Those boys crack off 2 shots each into the Union. 5 groups, 13 hits. 6 groups in that formation, sorry. Three dead, 3 shocks spread across that group. On a 1 to 6, the colonel is hit. And here we go again. 7 shock, they're good. They got 1 shock, they lost a guy. They picked up 2 more shock, which they didn't have. These guys pick up 2 dead. So now they have 6 shock and 4 guys. They fall back 2 inches, and they're still there. So the formation's broken and a group obliged to withdraw.
Which will reduce the Union down to 4.
And the Union will lose 1 flag. Oof, I think I have to gotta do some serious administrative work over there.
Alright, finally.
Captain Whale gets his Illinois cavalry riding. They move forward at the canter, trying to get involved for this battle's over.
Red flag. Oh no, red leader won.
Colonel Hatfield ended up pulling 3 shock. He ordered this unit to reload, or his formation, excuse me, and present. They're going to go for the killing blow next time. So now you got 2 presented Confederate line units going across the entire front line, getting ready to wail on these gentlemen.
Second red flag. Got third blue flag. Red leader 4.
That's Captain Cassagnier and Brother Maynard. They're going to go ahead and pull the last remaining shock on this entire unit. Nice having a level 3 leader as an adjutant.
Fourth blue flag. I gotta save him. I gotta pull like millions of shock here. Let's hope it's not a what's-it-call-it. Tempest Fugitor. I'm screwed. Fifth blue flag. Going to Vegas. Jameson Kirk, what can he do from back there? He'll just move forward and hope Colonel Hatfield's survival continues.
He picks up a shock as he heads into trying to get around the flank of the colonel's broken up unit.
Wow. Oh, there it is! All right, I gotta get the rule book out. So he's got 4 commands and 6 flags. All right, so he's gonna be using at least 1 command to move forward, and probably 1 command to present. And there he's gonna dress the ranks and form up, and then pull all the shock he possibly can. So there was a command to dress the ranks. There was a command to form up. There was a command to form up again, where he brought Doug Carmichael's group to cover those 2 as a skirmish screen for the far right groups. So that's 3 down. He ordered them to move up, and then I gotta put a present out. So that's the 2. That's the last one for him. And then he pulled 6 shock. So you got 3 shock, 2 shock, 1 shock, and 7 shock on the far right. So things are moving. They no longer have 6 groups in this formation. They're down to 5. Red leader 5. It's Jordan Salih's boys that are nestled in between these 2 line units in the woods. They're going to fire on those skirmishers again at 7. 7 shots, needing 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. 4, 5s, and 6s, and they'll be unloaded after they do. They'll reload, fire, and be unloaded. 4 hits on this Union skirmish group in light cover. Not the best shooting, just 3, up to 3 shock now. They got 1 more shock. They're doing the dim mock on these guys. Death by 1,000 cuts. Red leader 3. Well, I should have moved, that should have been First Lieutenant Keith Masters that way, and I did that. I got them superimposed. So I'll move the Zouaves on this one. Zouaves are going to advance, use their free move, and then present on the fence line. First Lieutenant Masters has his boys online. He also used his second command to pull a shock. They're able to secure the road to Waynesburg for another point they don't have to use. And the Confederacy is lined the snake rail fences in the woods, and we got like about 1 million guns on present right now. Red 3 is the Blue 3, excuse me. That is Captain Allen. He's going to pull 3 more shock. That far right formation's down to 4 shock. An amazing job of motivation by these 2 officers to get their troops under control. Might all be for naught if the wrong cards come out. They are going to get swallowed up in a hail of bullets and cannonballs. Oh! Union artillery. Reload and pull a shock. That far group had 3, they'll go down to 1. Both guns are now at 2 shock. Oh boy. Tempest Fugit. Union has no cards. Confederacy has 2 flags, but I think most of their stuff's moved except for their artillery. So they're going to present and fire at Hatfield's formation. I think that's it. Also move forward Franco's unit. They'll run forward. Franco's skirmishers are moving forward to that hole in the Confederate line there on the right side of Hatfield's formation. And while they do that, the Death Star opens fire with 24 shots presented, double unloaded now. They will hit these 6 formations, or 6 groups, in the formation, in the open, 24 shots, needing 4, 5s, and 6s. 2 9-pound Parrott medium artillery guns. A little less than the odds, 11 hits on that formation. They pick up 5 shock and a dead, not too unmanageable from where they were before, but still in trouble. Union it's going to be difficult to make maneuvers and move in on this, move in on the attack while getting shot the entire time. Oh gosh! All right, they need that rebel yell that the Confederates have. So Confederates doing a good job holding that line, digging it in the trees along the fence line, and just blistering away. Let's see if the Union can pull this out. They could get their guns active. All right, starting off with a blue flag. Blue leader 2. That's Major Jameson Kirk. He's going to continue to move forward.
He's going to use another command to snap in these skirmishers too in front of him. Only a 4-inch move, but they didn't have a lot of room anyway. The group is snapped in. They also pulled the one shock they had with that extra command he had left. It's getting a little bit ridiculous up here.
Woo! Yes, Confederate cavalry.
They're going to load in through the trees into this formation here on the right. I think it's going to hit everybody. What a mess. Yeah. They get a lot of shots. They get double with the carbines with their level 2 leaders. Actually 16 shots. I think I messed up last time. Used to the skirmishers only having a level 1 leader.
Close range hitting on 3, 4, 5s, and 6s. 4, 5s, and 6s. Sorry.
Eight hits in the open. Wow. I don't even know how many groups that would hit because he's firing across the entire Union line. I'd probably spread it over all of them.
That's over 10 groups. That's awesome. They don't even have enough bullets to hit them all. These last two groups, the skirmish group and that far left group here, are left off, so everyone else gets one hit. Two kills, 4 shock. Spread out. Actually, only 3 shock because one of these guys get light cover because of the skirmish scream. So there's a little bit of shock all over the place here. Got some 1 shock here, 1 shock there, 3 shock there, 2 shock there. We got 4 shock over there, another 1 shock over here. Some of this stuff was already here from last time. Red flag. Another blue flag. Oh, the Union Zouaves. They're going to run forward, 3d6. That's not really a run. It's them 2 movements. Both are going to be for running, and then they're going, or both are going to be moving, and then the extra one is for being a light infantry unit. And they'll pull the shock they have because he's a level 2 leader.
They've run a country mile, but they're closing in on the Confederates. It's like on the other side of that tree line. They're going to spread out in the line and open up. There we go.
Red leader 4.
Confederate Zouaves fire a presented volley into these skirmishers. They will get a hard cover from those trees, but this is first fire, presented just outside of effective range. Oh, no, it's close range. I just measured it out. So we're looking at anything but. Wow, 18 shots. These guys were already presented, so they'll fire and reload, and they get 17 hits in hard cover. Hard cover helps. 2 kills, 1 shock, 1 in 6 chance the leader is hit. Even though it wasn't a completely devastating volley, it was enough. They've got 3 guys, 4 shock. They fall back an inch. They're still unloaded. Just down to 2 guys plus the 2nd Lieutenant Daniel Potter. They'll do a bad thing for fallback, obliged to withdraw. That's what the Union needed. They don't care. Good. No more drops in force morale.
3rd blue flag. Oh boy. Red leader 2. Major Masters wishes he had another flag to play with to do a crashing volley.
Major Masters pulls the trigger on his volley. First fire, presented, effective range, straight across into Colonel Pierce's unit. 3, 4, 5s, and 6s to hit. That'll be 26 shots.
hitting 4 groups. They will fire and reload. Those boys are amped up. You see all those 1s and 2s? They fired them like, they must have aimed high, shot over their heads. They got lucky there, but let's see what kind of damage it does. If I roll 6s on the second roll, it's not so good. 11 hits. We will get light cover. The skirmish screen can cover 2 groups within the formation, so the left and that group there will get cover. And then that group will be exposed in the open, so they'll probably get the extra shot if there is one, and they'll get light cover. They definitely they got lucky there. They're getting, the shock is building up. They got Doug's skirmish screen up front. Doug deserves a definite MVP for that. He was able to, with his skirmish screen, he was able to deflect several of those hits. Excellent. 4 shock out there, 3 shock there, 4 shock there, 3 shock there, and Doug's picked up 1, and 1 guy got blown away right in front of the flag. 4th blue flag. Give me a minute. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna use. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna gamble. Gonna leave those 4 there. I was debating about activating the colonel, but I think I might need more flags to pull shock, so it might be worth holding out. But if his flag doesn't come up, I'm in deep doo-doo. Red 6. That's Turpin's boys having fun at the farm. Keep on partying. They got the kegger in there. Sorry if you throw up there. They're having a house party. Real common in the central Kentucky. Second red flag. At least we can do a crashing volley if something comes up. Come on, baby. Ooh. Who's that? Oh, that's he's a subordinate. That's Captain Cassagna and the Swamp People from Louisiana. Gotta love him. He has no shock to pull, so he's just encouraging the boys, giving a rousing speech, talking to Brother Maynard, making sure they're ready to go. When they get their chance, oh boy. 3rd red flag. That's 5 of the big blue guys. It's 2 flags in a row. That's Captain Whale in the Union Cavalry. He's been on vacation the entire time. Probably in Illinois, horses are enjoying eating the bluegrass. They're off kind of chilling in the back of the battlefield. I guess we're going to go to the gallop and just go crazy straight ahead just to try to cover some ground. Alright, they slam forward 21 inches. They're definitely have to slow to a walk so they can turn. And then, heck, I might have to do a cavalry charge just to say I did it. Alright, baby. Cameron, don't let me down. With your big old beard. He's got some bugs in there. Just don't want to see the tiffin yet. Oh, both sides have 4 flags. A gamble for both. Blue 6. Ooh, the focus is horrible. I'm sorry. That's Doug Carmichael. He's kind of back in a subordinate role now. He's going to pull a shock off his skirmish screen. I'm getting anxious. Oh, how many is that? 6? Just we've gone to insanity, so let's just stay there. Oh, it's worth it. All right, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna have a martini. Absolute insanity. He has to use 5 commands, even though he has 4, to snap in these 3 groups, and then snap out the 2 skirmishers, so they go off to the side. He had like 6 flags to play with, and then he's able to fire and reload a presented volley with all of this crap and still pull 4 shock. Absolutely nuts. So this is going to be like every single dice I have, I think. Firing straight ahead, hitting the entire Confederate line. Wow. It's going to be 61 shots after all the shock. Hitting on an effective range presented. So 4, 5s, and 6s. And everyone's going to be at least light cover.
This might be my longest volley ever. Hey, I'm excited. I still had some dice left. Here they come. They definitely underperformed. 26 shots hitting across these 6 groups. There's actually 7 groups, so woo! 8 groups, sorry, not 7, not 6. So. Two dead, 13 shocks spread across 8 groups. No chance for any leaders being hit. Confederate lines got 1 shock there, 2 shock there, 3 shock here. Starting to get some dead bodies in here. 2 shocks, 1 shock, 2 shock, 1 shock, 1 shock. Lost 2 guys in there. Still hold it together. All right, ooh. Confederacy's gonna do the same thing the Union's doing. It's getting kind of the midway point of the deck though. Still gonna ride it. Oh, there's 2 flags in a row. So we get a random shooting event for that entire column. Oh. Red 8 is Confederate artillery, Matthew Johnson. He goes ahead and reloads. Turn on primary ignition. Oh yeah. They're still gonna hold their fire for a second. They're waiting for the flag to go up from the colonel. They're cleared hot. Oh my gosh. It's just kind of fun now. It's 2 flags in a row. They've got, I don't even know how many. I can't count that high. This is getting dumb. Oh! I got lucky. You got a level 4 leader with 8 flags to play with. He's going to use one of his, a big handful of 4 flags. He's going to fire the Confederate artillery. He's going to use 2 of the flags to fire a crashing volley. And then he'll have 5 basically commands with the 2 flags he has left to pull shock and still shoot. So this won't be as devastating as Colonel Pierce's volley, but let's see what happened. 33 shots spread over 5 groups in the open. Confederate line is closer to the snake rail fence, so they'll get the cover and the Union will not. These will be hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s, I believe, right? That's correct, and they will fire and reload. "20 hits in the open, doubling shock. Causes 2 dead and 22 shock. This far right group has 9 shock and 8 guys, so they fall back an inch. That does not break the formation. They just group obliged to withdraw. We got 9 shock, 2 shock, 5 shock, 5 shock. Those are the guys that lost 2. 5 shock, 4 shock, 3 shock, and then 4 more on the far right. Now here comes incoming cannonballs exploding in the middle of their ranks. It will be a bad thing for that group withdrawing due to fire. Force morale will draw to a 3. Well, not draw, will fall to a 3, excuse me. They'll lose another flag with that. If this cannonball hits an officer, we're in trouble. Boom. There you can hit everything from about there over, including Doug Carmichael. And that other skirmish group over there. That's Second Lieutenant Daniel Potter and his 3 guys that are left, or 2 guys, including himself. All the Confederate flags are spent, all the Union flags are spent. Whoa! 26 presented artillery shots, hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. Hitting 7 groups. "13 artillery hits, reducing cover to everybody's in the open." "8 shock, 2 dead." Let's see what that does to the lines. Well, on a good note, the formation's not broken. These guys get up to 6 shock, and they fall back an inch with 5 guys. They've got 6 shock holding strong. They get a guy blown away and they have 5 shock. They have 5 shock. I think another guy was killed in here somewhere. There's 4 shock. Doug's got 1. Daniel Potter's unit takes another shock. They fall back 2 more inches, but they weren't part of the formation. So 2 units obliged to withdraw. Force morale's down to 1. They lose 2 more flags. Oh man, I don't know if you'll be able to capture a point here to start getting stuff back. And there's the end of the turn. No flags. Woo! Next card could be game. At the end of that turn, Confederacy got the best of that. I thought the mega volley was going to be there. Could have been better. It's just taking too long to get these troops deployed. Maybe we should have gone slowly on this side and just let the artillery hammer away. I don't know. You know, just throw these guys on the board and try to have a little bit of fun. So, you know, I'm not technically going to get it rocked every time, but hell, they sure as hell did in the Civil War. I'll tell you that. It was a lot of these piecemeal murder-thons. All right, Union morale holding on by a thread. See what the first card is. They got that, yeah, big old 1 versus an 11. Not too many good odds in Vegas on this one. All right, at least they're going to go with a bang on a whimper. Captain Markey. Oh, it's not good. It just promoted him. All right. First Lieutenant Markey. He's going to present and fire into the trees. Hit a couple guys over there. Woo! 26 shots. It'll be 25. They'll lose 1 with shock. 25 shots hitting 5 guys. That's easy math. 5 a group. Hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. And going to be just completely destroying cover. My snake rail fences aren't built from depleted uranium. "15 hits. Not a bad blast from those guns. 4 dead, 8 shock. Tear them up pretty good. A 4 shock in there, 5 shock in that group, 5 shock there, 1 over here, and these guys are a center group of the class of 1861, getting weakened. A red flag action. Second red flag. This isn't going well. 1 more. Oh. Heck, probably will be ball game. He pulls all their shock, and they're going to fire how many shots? 31 shots straight ahead, spending the 2 flags for the crashing volley into Major Kirk's command. Barely holding it together. The boys from South Carolina, along with what's left of the Louisiana regulars, are going to fire straight ahead. They're going to present, they're going to fire, and they're going to be unloaded. Brother Maynard just wants this to end. Let's all go back to church, baby. This is over. We can all be friends, I swear. "17 hits. Put in the extra hits, the 2 buckled groups. "3 dead, 20 shock, spread over 5 groups. Let's see what happens." I'm pretty sure it's going to be impossible to survive the many bad things that just happened. Oh, we can go up here so you can see a little better. This formation jumped up to 15 shock with, I think 6 guys? 7 guys. So they broke. They ran. These guys, so 4 went up to 12 shock. These guys obliged to withdraw with 9 shock. They fell back 3 inches. These guys fell back an inch with 6 shock and 5 guys. And it's formation broken, 2 units obliged to withdraw, and 2 units broken. So they rolled pretty good there, but they still lose 3 force morale, dropping them to a rock solid -2, and having Confederacy still at 11. It's I mean, casualty-wise, if you can see over there in the bucket, I mean, the Confederates lost probably more guys. Just more shock into the Union. They couldn't mitigate the damage. I think the Confederacy was able to spread it out, and the Union kind of came in piecemeal and just got smoked. And that's totally my fault. It was a tough nut to crack. Like, tactically, I should have done better. I should have spread them out and got them moving up on line and used skirmish screens better. Should have been a bit more patient. Not a horrible defeat. I think the Union will withdraw towards Danville. Confederates will start doing recruitment back in Stanford, and then they'll move out, and we'll have probably a field battle between Stanford and Danville in the hills there. What's that? Would that be east of town? So that way we don't have to. That'd be kind of fun. I haven't had a full field battle. I might bring out all the maps for that one, but that'll be a little bit. I'm gonna have an infamy game next. It's a fantastic, great game. I would like to have done a cavalry charge. I would like to have done more hand to hand. It's difficult to get to hand because the bullets just keep flying. I think you'd almost have to put like a bunch of trees and build almost like an urban battle or a battle in the wilderness to get there. I really screwed up when I took these cavalry and the Zouaves on a road trip. If I would have timed that better, yeah. But, probably realistic, unfortunately. This kind of attack was normal, except they would have had a lot more casualties. Just kind of walking up. You trying to use modern day more from the period, advanced weapons from the industrial age in the Napoleonic tactical times. It's kind of almost as bad as World War I charging across in front of machine guns, but not quite as bad. But I'm sure by the end of the Civil War, when they had Gatling guns and breech-loading carbines and rifles and repeating rifles, it was probably just as bad. But awesome game. The field battle will be something different. Enjoyed the heck out of it, and looking forward to the next one. I like to do some hand-to-hand next. That will get my melee on. Infamy with when I get these next 2 units done and onto the battlefield, it'll be I'm going to have a big old field battle. So that's going to be fun as heck. So I'll get my slaughter on. But this definitely satiated the firepower side of it all. Okay, cool. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. You're awesome. If you give me a like, that's cool. If you want to subscribe, that's even better. I'm not really doing this to retire or anything. It's more fun for me to watch, but my wife won't yell at me. The more YouTube gives me a couple more dollars, I can buy a couple guys without my wife yelling at me. That's the objective. All right, guys, you're awesome. I'm going to buy them anyway. It's worth getting yelled at to play this stuff. Take care, guys. Bye.